motherfucking Proud Boy. I keep my guns, I keep my speech. You don't wanna take those from me. I'm a motherfucking Proud Boy. You can feel free to fuck around and find out. I'm a motherfucking Proud Boy. I drink my beer, I grab my nuts, I talk my shit cause I'm allowed. I'm a motherfucking Proud Boy. Hey. I'm always flexing. They say I'm a bigot, huh? Y'all could come get it, yeah. Making it great again. Why y'all hating him? And what's wrong with a wall? If everyone had guns, who would be like dumb enough to try to shoot us all? See, you call for hope and change, you pay for your bills and change. School done fuck your brains up, that's why you won't debate us. I think you need some help, cause logic hurts like hell. And where's your safe space at? I said, where's your baseball bat? You can fuck around and find out while I'm exercising the first. While you watching out of your mailbox for that check on the first. I ain't hating if you can't work, but don't go be a leech, cause that's what the Democrats preach. You fucking NPCs. We talk, y'all scream. We work, y'all sleep. My taxes pay for your EBT, for you to eat. While the dim fins run around naked in the streets. You believe all women, we still got that defeat. I'm a motherfucking Proud Boy. I keep my guns, I keep my speech. You don't wanna take those from me. I'm a motherfucking Proud Boy. You can feel free to fuck around and find out. I'm a motherfucking Proud Boy. I drink my beer, I grab my nuts, I talk my shit cause I'm allowed. I'm a motherfucking Proud Boy. I'm always flexing.
Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend. She's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Peter said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys' former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the News Brief. Today is Thursday, October 16th. It is 12:01 p.m. And I am joined by my gracious co-hosts, Barry and Patty. Barry, what's up?
I don't really appreciate you putting titles like gracious upon me. That's a little messed up, but happy to be here. And Brittany Griner is 100% a dude.
The noble Patty. I can't say gracious. What is that?
This is how you throw a split finger fastball, and the importance is your thumb right on the bottom of the pitch. It's not the split on the top, it's the bottom. You want to let it flick off right here. That's how you throw a splitter.
I think the person that used the wrong word there was Patty in importance because nobody gives a fuck.
We just went down four viewers by the time.
Very important. Very important.
I
that
saw
you
the
know how to
ticker go
throw
off.
A split finger fastball. That's how you do it.
So
You
many
girls,
jokes.
you girls who don't play sports and never did play sports.
I did
And
play sports. I played sports actually professionally.
Oh,
Okay?
really?
Professionally. I played
I want to hear about it.
I
want to hear about it.
I played paintball professionally. I
Oh,
went to
Jesus.
World Cup. I got third place in Division 3. Okay. So
I got it.
you could shut your mouth on that.
And I'm a judo black belt, so there's that.
A judo black belt? What in the joint? Like
No, I wish I went that far in age. I got tired of it about 24.
Jesus Christ.
My mom is too. My mom's a second degree black belt.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Barry, just a quick update. How's our girl doing?
Wow, man, that is great. A great update. She just came back from the.
Hey, can you tell the audience what we're talking about?
Yeah, sorry about that. We did an interview with Zoe Zora. She is ranked 6 in the whole entire country in jiu-jitsu in her weight class, which goes all the way up to the age of 17. She is 10 years old, and she just went to the ADCC and took a silver and a gold home. And this is a young lady who actively seeks to fight out transgenders who are posing as girls and competing as girls. She seeks them out to fight them, and she does a pretty good job. She has beaten boys fair and square, and she's continuing to go up the ladder. The new news is she may be ranked for number 2 here soon if she wins her next tournament. So,
yeah. Barry, why don't we play that later on today? We do a replay of that for people that didn't watch that episode. She has a badass little Instagram account too.
Yeah,
The videographer is great. I mean, it's pretty fucking amazing. Patty, let's start with your beat. You had a story. Well, you had something to talk about. And just for clarity, I haven't been on here in the past 2 weeks. I've been traveling. I traveled with my microphone, but unfortunately I was in the middle of nowhere in the UK where there was no reception, so I couldn't jump in. I tried to go live from Buckingham Palace with Barry, but that didn't work. The UK was blocking EV Mux, at least there to the login, which was pretty on point with the UK and how they do things over there. I just recently saw a member, an MP member of parliament over there, just go off on Tommy Robinson, call him a right-wing extremist, and because Elon Musk is funding his legal defense, called for some type of terrorism charges on Elon Musk also. So it wasn't a surprise, but I will tell you the trip was amazing. To the members of the UK, you have a beautiful country. London is gorgeous, but the people absolutely fucking suck. Okay, I thought I was going to get mugged a couple of times walking around because I walked around alone.
Yeah, look, the fact of the matter is that most women in the UK, their teeth look like a historical cemetery. So that's just a reality. It looks like you could stuff a baseball bat in between most of these teeth, and British women are really ugly. I mean, that's just a reality, right?
and can we just say
I'd like to push back on that a little bit.
there's nothing special about fish and chips. Done.
Yeah, they weren't. I think they've gotten better. You know, I tried to start a toothpaste and deodorant business in the UK back in 1999, and I failed miserably. But for the most part, I can tell you it's gotten a lot better.
It's
The hygiene, at
revolting.
least.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm not going to call out names or anything, but you had a group of photographers and videographers that were
Oh yeah, but they were from
recently.
Germany. They were from
Yeah,
Germany.
well, I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but you just did, and man, they have launched a war against deodorant, and they're winning. They're winning that war.
Yeah, they're definitely. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
if it looks like your tongue is in jail, then there's a serious fucking problem here. You know what I mean? Like that's not right. You
You
know?
ever notice that Pennsylvania kind of has the same thing going on?
I didn't, but I'll take your
Take
word
a
for
look. Yeah, Pennsylvania's got the same thing going on.
All right, Patty. Let's dive into your story.
it. Okay. So my story had to do with the fact that people are upset that certain brands are being associated with certain what we would call or what some people are calling extremist groups. Specifically, people are saying the Fred Perry brand is somehow a Proud Boys thing, right? And so they don't want to be wearing these things and all this stuff. Okay. And it's not just Fred Perry and it's not just the Proud Boys. It's a whole bunch of different, you know, different groups. And what I would say is that as a person who's worn Fred Perry since I was, I don't know, 16 years old, um, I think it's ridiculous to for a brand or for anybody to have to say, well, we're not into this or we're not into that. Fuck off, man. It's clothing. It's clothing, right? It's not like Hugo Boss in the 1930s, right? So we can argue about, hey, this, that, and the other, but I really think it's ridiculous to start accusing certain groups of, supporting people because of the clothes that they wear. Because as a skinhead, when I was younger, um, Fred Perry felt no need to say, "Hey, we don't want to be anywhere near these skinheads. We disavow skinheads." Well, they didn't do that, but they feel the need to disavow you guys. I don't know. I don't know. I find that shitty. I think that
So
that's not right.
so CNN, you sent this to me this morning. CNN wrote an article about this on the 15th, and the title says brands can't choose their customers. So what happens when extremists wear their clothes? And let me just give you some history here when it comes to specifically Fred Perry. Why is this off center? There we go. So Fred Perry, one of their, I think their nicest polo outside, regardless of the Proud Boys, is the black and yellow, the black Fred Perry with the yellow piping. Fred Perry stopped selling that color in the United States because we were wearing it. Because
But
the
they
Proud
sell it
Boys
now.
use it.
They
Yeah,
changed it.
they started selling it. I guess the culture shifted, and it's okay to be a fucking Proud Boy now. Which is super cool. But regardless of the fact, and to the point where I when they made this declaration, they put it on their website, and I think it's still up. I think you could go to the Fred Perry website and go to their newsletter, and you look up Proud Boys. I was like, you know what? Maybe we should get like their most popular, best selling. I was looking for like their best selling color. And I'm like, I'm just going to say that the Proud Boys are going to change into this. Like, we weren't physically going to change the colors of our Perrys, but for the most part, I thought it would be funny if they canceled the shirt that they sell the most.
Well, none of your scrubs can afford an actual Fred Perry, so they have to buy like the knockoffs that you sell.
Yeah, I don't know if that's completely accurate.
That's
Uh,
bullshit.
That's
I
completely
have
accurate.
I have
Completely.
about 15 to 20 different pieces from Fred
do
Perry,
you
and
guys-
some from the UK itself, and some from Tokyo.
Do you guys remember when this? I mean, at least for me. I mean, I'm 41. I think we're all about the same age. Besides Patty, who's about what 60s in your lower 60s.
I'm 45, you fucking
That
fat bastard.
face says 60.
Jesus.
Anyway, I guess it's stress. So remember Tommy Hilfiger when he was, I believe he was on Oprah Winfrey or something like that, and it became the Tommy Hilfiger shirts, the polos became a very big thing in the hip hop culture. And Tommy, I said something to the extent, I'm paraphrasing here, that if he knew thugs and gangsters were going to wear his clothes, he would have never made them. And the fucking
That's accurate.
outroar, the
Is
outroar.
that accurate? I heard that. I thought it was.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's a real
it is.
thing.
There's
No, he's
footage.
right.
He says
He's right.
he said it like live, like they taped it. You can go see the video, and his point was not geared towards black people, because at that point you really had white people glorifying the hip hop culture in the late 90s. I mean, extensively, especially after Eminem hit the scene. I mean, they felt a part of it now,
No,
and it was
that's
really
correct.
them taking it, to another level. And then you had the conversation was started because I'm sure, Enrique, you remember from Opelika, Hialeah flea market, the Tommy Hilfiger knockoffs.
Why did you assume that I went to the Opelika flea market?
Because of the color of your skin and where you live. And now, am I right? How many times have you been to the Opelika flea market?
All right.
Because me, it's once. It's once, and I never went back.
I used to go a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
I used to get car stereo equipment and sell car stereos.
Yeah, I know. See, the stereotypes exist for a reason. So, yeah, I mean, but you remember there was a knockoff brand, coming from the flea markets, and where, let's call it hip hop culture people would shop. So that's where the conversation started, because they started making knockoffs and bootlegs and so on and so forth. But you remember the backlash, and here we have FUBU. For Us, By Us. It's a black clothing album. It's only for black people. And you pick fucking hot at
only white people wore.
You put exactly. And you put Sydney Sweeney on a fucking ad, and another meltdown happens because she has good genes and they don't. I mean,
so Patty, what's the premise? I mean, I'm gonna skim this, but what's the premise of this article? What are they basically saying?
Well, what they're saying is that doesn't matter if a group of people who you disagree with decides to wear a certain clothing brand. Does that mean you should say I'm not going to do that? Now, I think that's ridiculous. I think that's absurd. I think you can definitely disagree with the Proud Boys and still wear a Fred Perry, right? I think that there are a lot of people in Britain who do that. I don't think that wearing a Fred Perry makes you aligned with the Proud Boys. I don't think that wearing a Fred Perry needs to necessarily make you what other people, and I'm not saying I think this, would consider a racist. So this has gotten kind of out of control in my mind. Like, wear the fucking clothes that you want. Like, I've worn Fred Perry since I was 16 years old because I was a skinhead, and that's what we wore. Now, if you want to fuck with me about being a skinhead, okay, we can have an argument. But I just think that it's ridiculous, man. It's a shirt that I want to wear, and fuck yourself if you don't like it.
You can think about whatever you want to think. If I wear a shirt, think about me whatever you want. If you wear a rainbow shirt, I'm gonna think you're queer. So I mean, there's, I get it.
I mean, and we can argue and fight about that shit, but I just think that it's ridiculous if somebody's walking around wearing a Fred Perry shirt, and you're gonna say, oh, that guy must be a Nazi. No, fuck you, man. Like that's
so. Interesting enough, I didn't notice where the article was based out of, and it's based out of London. Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and read the first paragraph. When right-wing protesters took to the streets of London in September, their turnout was one of the largest in decades. More than 110,000 people, which I believe is more, showed up at a rally against immigration, many carrying flags of England and Britain as they scuffled with police. I didn't see that. But alongside the Union Jack and the St. George's Cross, another symbol was unexpectedly visible. The logo belonging to the Italian fashion brand Stone Island. So I was recently in the UK. What's this? Guardian. Black shirt with white stripes, hands and black sleeves. So let's start with the 110,000 people. There was way more than 110,000 people. If you saw the aerial views on that, there was close to 1 million people out there. and I know I don't like people exaggerating crowds, but that was a fucking large crowd, and 110,000 people just doesn't cut it. There might have been more than a million people because the streets were lined shoulder to shoulder, intersection to intersection, nonstop. I unfortunately, I was in Vegas when this happened. Gavin was in town in London when this happened. And they actually bring up the person that was wearing the Stone Island brand was Stephen Yaxley Lennon, also known as Tommy Robinson. He organized this march, which put the United States to shame, to be honest with you.
Agreed.
Wholeheartedly, like, I don't think that we've been able to amass a crowd of that size. It was nice because they paid homage to the late Charlie Kirk, and another podcaster, which I did an interview with while I was there, Liam Tufts. I mean, this guy is amazing. I think it's the podcast is going to come out in the next couple of weeks. We talk about politics here in the U.S. We talk about politics over there in Britain. But I will tell you, when you walk outside of Britain, you know, clothing is a political statement, just like it is here, you know, for the most part. You know, the MAGA hat is probably the most iconic modern, I guess, piece of clothing that focuses on politics, right? Like the political billboard right now is the MAGA hat. And, you know, just secondly, the Did Nothing Wrong line, designed by me and the late Stomper, is also a staple at many of these rallies. But what can these companies do? They can't stop somebody from purchasing a shirt and wearing it. It gives a little bit of history here at the bottom of where this came from. Let me find it. And there's a picture of me on there, obviously. The rise of coded clothing. The American University Miller Idris traces the earliest uses of popular fashion brands as political symbols to early 1990s in Germany, which saw a sharp rise in far-right street movements and violence following the fall of the Berlin Wall and subsequent reunification. During this time, neo-Nazi gangs grew visible at concerts, football matches, and in public squares. Everybody's some type of neo-Nazi, I guess. But as the state banned overt Nazi symbols under Germany's strict anti-Nazi laws and swastikas and SS runes became illegal, extremists turned to coded clothing as a workaround, notably co-opting two brands, New Balance and Lonsdale, in the process. New Balance? Yeah. Come on, like, I think of New Balance and I think of, like, Walmart dads.
All right. This is more complicated. You should put us both on the screen. Like,
okay, go ahead. Hold on.
So, Fred Perry, and I'm going to just put New Balance aside because that's sort of ridiculous and that's recent. But Fred Perry, Ben Sherman, you know, a lot of this stuff has been associated with skinhead, you know, for a very, very long time. And I know, and anybody who's got any sense understands that Gavin created the Proud Boys based on skinhead. Now, he's going to deny that. He's going to say, oh, no, that's not true. But anybody with any sense understands that that's exactly what he did, right?
I mean, if you remove the shirt, did he really base it on skinhead?
Yes, he did. He did. Exactly, he did.
Seems more based off of Knights of Columbus, but okay.
No, it's not. That's a fucking bullshit excuse, and Bobby's made that fucking horseshit excuse, and I've told him he was full of shit, and I'm telling you, you're full of shit about that. What he did was he decided, hey, the Fred Perry and the skinhead culture, like, this is something I can put people into. I can get people fired up about this shit. We just have to replace the music, oi, and the hardcore punk music. We just replace it with Trump politics, right? So we do that. And I know that these guys aren't going to want to, like, shave their heads and shit like that. So we just use the Fred Perry. We just give them a little bit of a uniform, but not the whole uniform, right? This was genius, right? It was really smart what he did. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, he turned skinhead into a political movement. This is
Well,
really
wait,
really smart.
aren't skinheads a political movement anyway?
No, hell
It's
no.
a
Skin,
Oh,
no,
culture.
not at all.
Listen, culture is not a long ways from
Well, what I'm saying is
politics.
that
It's not. They're
skinhead
downstream.
skinhead or you talk about downstream skinhead when I joined when I was a kid, it was about music, it was about fucking girls, it was about fighting in the streets. That's what we wanted
Well,
to
what
do,
were you
right?
fighting in the streets about?
Just anybody, hippies, fucking anybody that we didn't
Yeah,
like,
it was a rebellion against politics. Therefore,
yeah.
it was
It
political in
was
that sense.
political.
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with right wing or left wing. It was just like I want to kick the
Sure
shit
it
out of
did.
somebody who's got long hair
The
or somebody,
the skinhead movement started from the Jamaican dudes in fucking
Yes, it
London.
did. Yes, you are correct, Barry. That's exactly what it did. It was rude boys and skinheads.
Yeah.
And look, man, your boy started this whole thing knowing good and goddamn well that that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to create a rude boy skinhead group that would kick the shit out of people because it was fun, and he
Well,
succeeded.
no, I completely disagree with you there.
Yeah,
The Proud Boys
you-
didn't
wrong.
go into the streets really until 2017, almost 9 months from its inception. Obviously it was even though it was a cultural group, it was very political. But
I hate you, Barry.
the street
really hate you.
stuff. What did you, Barry? Hold that up a second.
You're a real cocksucker, you know. I do love
Where did you got that at the flea market in Opa-locka, didn't you? But I like the reason why I'm pushing back on it is because I know historically what I've been on the inside for quite a bit, and one of the reasons I didn't join, those people that joined the Proud Boys pre 2017 were just people that watched Gavin's podcast, which I still love them. They're my brothers, but that's kind of weird, you know.
Right.
I joined because of the political activism aspect of it that started in 2007.
Yeah, but you've been an activist for your entire fucking life, man.
Yes.
Like, I mean, we've had conversations where you were talking about Elian Gonzalez and stuff back, and that goes back to 1999. Yeah. So, I mean, I understand that about you, and I think that a lot of people don't get that about you. They think that like, oh, you're just like a recent, like, no, you've been a political activist, and that goes for most Cubans. Like, not to
Yeah,
just
that's true.
generalize Cubans.
No, you could generalize there. I mean,
Sounds a little
But-
racist to me.
Yeah, it is a little racist, right? But Cubans in general are fired up about politics, especially Cubans in Miami and in Florida in general.
you got
are
one in the
fired up
comments. You got Jose in the comments here. He's Cuban.
Yeah,
He's
so
from Miami,
so that's not unexpected. That's not new. And when people say like, "Oh, well, this guy is like, he's a puppet," and I'm like, no. Right wing Cubans have existed for a long, long time, man. Like, so he's not unique in that way. He's just unique in that he's a little bit smarter than most, and he gets a little more involved. That's all.
So the Guardian also has this is all based in London. That's great. The Guardian has an article also. I'm not going to bring it up on the screen, but it says the not so secret language of fascist fashion. Yeah. What's up? Like, you're not going to make an article about Black Bloc because they're not fashionable, which they're not. You typically just wear all black, no brands or whatever. But I mean, the right is very fashionable, which is kind of a new thing. The left is usually the ones that are very fashionable and this and that. But
Are we?
I mean, back then. Now it's the right wearing, that jacket that they were talking about. I just looked it up. That jacket that they were talking about that Tommy Robinson was wearing is $1,200. And you have people like something Lupa. What's her name?
Who knows?
Dua Lipa or whatever. Um, wearing these things, and I guess it is a fashion statement. Our colors are everything because it does make an impact.
The greatest fashion statement made in a millennium, my humble opinion, is when fucking Candace Owens and Kanye West showed up to the French Fashion Awards with a White Lives Matter jacket
Oh,
on.
oh yeah,
Phenomenal. I mean that's a fashion statement.
yeah. And speaking of, just to shift gears here a little bit, and speaking of fashion, I want to get into this Portland Chicago thing because um, we're not late to the party because it's still going on, but I wanted to cover this last week. They have oh wait, one more thing. I mean, that's just one street
Wow, look
in
at that.
London, and when you capture the aerial there, if you know where that is, that's on the way to Buckingham Palace, and the aerial shows they're going all the way from Buckingham Palace, filling the streets, the streets next to it, crossing the bridge over by Big Ben. So 110,000 is just they're not being realistic.
It sounds like a wonderful place for a car bomb.
Yeah. Well, they closed the streets at that point because there was too many people on the streets. But
Yeah,
regardless of the
they
fact,
predict Democrat behavior.
let's talk about fashion for a second. They it's not organic, so it's never funny. They're using these blow up. Have you seen these blow up costumes that they're using in Portland and Chicago, where they're dressed as like frogs or octopuses and horses?
Why would you dress up like a frog or an octopus?
I don't know what they're trying to do, and it's obviously not working. Is trying to show like they're the peaceful protesters, which is the goal. Yeah, that I think we have one on the screen now. The They're trying to show like they're the peaceful protesters because obviously they're in a frog costume. But the person who started this was a gentleman that lives, I believe he lives in Portland. He was wearing the frog costume, and you saw the famous where the ICE agent goes and puts pepper spray inside the blow up thing. This guy and Democrats have gone, oh well, look at this guy, and well, this guy specifically has issued multiple death threats against not only ICE agents but right wingers, like actual death threats. Not. Here's another picture of it. I would love to bring these on the screen, but you could see all the adjacent streets on there, just full shoulder to shoulder with people. Yeah, send it over to me. Text it to me. So if you see the actual death threats, they're not like, oh, I wish right wingers would die. No, like I'm gonna fucking shoot these motherfuckers if I see them on sight. And then he shows up in a fucking frog costume. So it's counter everything that they're about. We've seen journalists get attacked. Patty, let's talk about the press conference. Did you get a chance to see the press conference with some of these street journalists and Andy No the other day? What are your thoughts on that?
Look, I think that it's hard for me to decide that some people are wrong or some people are right when they ask questions that I would not even like. I just don't understand where people come from when they have an opportunity to ask a question and fucking fail to do so, fail to ask what I would ask. And so like I don't even know how to respond to the bullshit that people get into. And I really don't. So I thought it was a waste of time. It's a waste of everybody's, time and effort. And, I'd like to ask a whole bunch of questions that nobody else is willing to ask. And sometimes those questions are going to get answers that you don't really want. You know what I mean? So if I'm going to ask Donald Trump, for example, a question about, the Israeli, hostages, there is a possibility I'll get an answer that is coherent and makes sense. And I just have to live with that. Like, not everything has to be a fucking gotcha question, you know?
So
And so
what would you? I mean, I guess you're saying if you were in the room there.
if I were in the room there, what would I ask?
No, no, no. I'm
It
not.
sounds like Kamala Harris wrote that response for you. I have no idea after that word salad what we're even
Not word
talking about
salad.
anymore.
What I'm saying is that I think that people should ask questions to which they may actually get fucking answers to. And if you
Oh, where
don't,
are you saying at that round table discussion?
I'm
Or
saying in any discussion, but yeah,
okay,
it's specifically at that. Yeah, I want to get actual answers. So if I'm talking to Kamala Harris, right, Barry, I'll give you this one, right. So if I'm talking to Kamala Harris, I want to know why the fuck you decided to run a campaign that refused to actually address any single thing that the American people care about. Like, why did you decide to run a campaign that way? That would be a reasonable question, I think. Don't you think that's a reasonable question, Barry?
you won't
Yeah, I
get
mean,
a
it's a
reasonable
reasonable question. I
answer.
just think her answer would be a lot like whatever the hell
Well,
you
that's
just said.
fine, but like, I'm just saying, like, I want to ask actual questions, and I think that people aren't doing that at this point.
That's great. Let's
But I
just not
think I
let's just
think
not
they
take a African safari to get to that question.
I think the
I didn't
questions
take an action.
I saw the whole thing, and I think the questions that were asked were it really wasn't like a press conference, so it really wasn't like a question thing. It was just like a roundtable discussing what went on in Portland, and something that I never like saying because honestly I don't care. Obviously, like if there's somebody that knows about Antifa in Portland, it's the Proud Boys, but I don't expect to have a seat at the table there. Um,
Well, I think I made a pretty good case on American Family Radio, about how that works, like the whole thing. And Barry, you commented on what I said.
Yeah, it was a good interview.
Yeah, so I think I've made it very clear how I feel about that thing, and I think I did a good job of defending you guys. And you know what, I will say that Sandy Rios, after the fact, uh, said, "Hey, how can we help Joe?"
yeah,
And I said, "Well, you know what? Not only can you help Joe, but you can help all the guys who weren't pardoned, who were just had their sentence commuted, and they're working on that right now. So that's a thing that's happening right now that I think is important. And so anyway,
but um, granted, um, that the conversation was like I said, a roundtable about what could be done. There's somebody that's been out there for a very long time. My friend CK, um, Shelly, she's been out there for months. And like these newcomers come in and they do the reporting, they get assaulted, and then automatically get sent to the White House. Look, I'm not shitting on anybody. If you're new to the game and you just got to Portland and you're just figuring it out, I support you wholeheartedly. That's the whole point. It's to get more people involved. But CK has been in the trenches for a very long time. Has gotten assaulted multiple times, and she's the reason why the other journalists went over there. And she's a person, and you could truly consider her a journalist because she really doesn't give her commentary. She'll get pissed off if she gets, she'll type something up if somebody goes ahead and like assaults her or something like that. That's fine, but all she does is record. She doesn't really ask any questions. She doesn't even give her opinion. She just records. And then when she reports on it, she reports on what she saw. And a lot of members of the media are saying, well, these aren't real journalists. Now we're just talking about the whole bunch. These aren't real journalists. They are. They are. This is what journalism is now in 2025. It's shifted. The mainstream is no longer in control. We haven't seen Sarah Seidner come out and sit in front of these ICE facilities. We haven't seen MSNBC out there. We haven't seen those mainstream outlets that are reporting about. They're using the reporting of this new age of journalists to formulate these reports online, and I think it's cowardice. And then
Do you
some
know
of them,
how difficult it is actually to do this without seeming biased? Like it really is, because I can tell you, I'm going to be honest about this, and I've never talked about this before, and I'm going to talk
without
about it now.
seeming bias is your word,
Without
right?
seeming bias, right?
Okay.
So I've never discussed this, and I will now, but there's a certain point at which you actually come to like people. Like you actually, long time ago, I guess it was, 2018 or whatever. I spent, an afternoon talking with Joe, and we're out having a beer and having some tacos in San Francisco, and you know, we talked about our military experience and shit like that, and it was difficult to not, you know, have an experience like, you think like, man, this guy's all right, right? And then I meet you, Enrique, and we can bust balls and joke around and stuff, but I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this guy. And Barry, despite the fact that I think he's a total asshole, like, you know, you you learn to like people, and then you think about photographing or writing about people. And am I a reasonable journalist in the fact that I actually do like these people as human beings? And it's not that easy. It's not that easy to be straight up when you actually think like, man, I do like Joe. I like Enrique. I like Barry. These are difficult things, you know, and I think a lot of people feel like, oh, well, it's no big deal or whatever, on the right and on the left. That's no big deal. It's really actually difficult. It's difficult.
But if you're let's say, because CNN has, we'll use CNN as an example, because they were on the ground in Portland when we came, and the only reason they were on the ground is because we came to Portland. Portland, and the reason why we went to Portland is because so many issues had happened before, and they had never been on the ground. But they have journalists that focus on these beats, whether it's like street protests, whether it's journalists that focus on extremism.
But you know that
Right.
Sarah actually likes you, like to an extent.
Yes,
Like
yes.
to an extent. I'm not saying she wants to.
I spar with her. I spar with her all the time, and I text her. When the news
Yeah.
came out about her situation, I text
But
her.
it puts her in a difficult position where she has to, report on you, but at the same time, she doesn't want to make you look like an asshole because she actually does like you.
But
Like,
look,
that's a fact, man.
my
Like, we
relationship
know
with
that.
my relationship with these journalists, and we could use Sarah for example. Like, I wouldn't be mad at her. I wouldn't be mad at her if she has to report on me negatively, and she knows that. She knows that I won't take it to heart. I know that she understands that I understand her job.
Right.
The problem is that we don't see that from these mainstream outlets, and the only people that are out there are streamers right now, which is the new journalism. Whether actual like journalists that went to school for this shit like it or not,
And that's what they need to realize is at the end of the day, it comes down to fucking ratings. And when you've got Nick Shirley out there on the fucking street, just a kid with a DJI microphone and a fucking gimbal, and he's pulling in fucking 300,000 views on one of his videos that he puts on within the first 3 hours of him uploading it, they can go kiss my ass because Joy Reid's not pulling in 300,000 viewers a month.
yeah. That's where they fail. They don't understand, and I think if I was a CEO, like, you're seeing the numbers, you're seeing Alex Jones pulling his numbers, you're seeing Nick pulling his numbers, you see CK pulling those numbers, you see us the other day, we were at 27,000 live viewers. You start seeing, and you're not adapting to this fast enough. And I think for the shareholder, of these the mother company, like you got to come down on the CEO and be like, hey, you need to start hiring. Like, imagine, I keep using CNN as an example, but whatever. Imagine CNN hiring some of these social media influencers and being like, okay, congratulations. Like, we're gonna give you a contract. You're gonna report for CNN,
But
and you're
you
gonna
must say Donald Trump's a Nazi 10 times per segment.
and you know what? Some people might do that. Some
Yeah.
people might do that, but I'm looking at it as a business, right? Like, they can get people to do that. They know they could get these people to do that, and they're refusing to do so. And again, it's irresponsible as a company whose two objectives are unbiased reporting and profits for the shareholders. So you're not adapting to this new method, and you could adapt to this new method. Put the little CNN affiliate badge at the end of somebody's Twitter.
Isn't that the hammer and the sickle?
Same concept. It's actually the same hue of red, which is crazy. There's so many
stands
hues.
for Communist News Network.
There's so many Pantones that like you could pick out of. They end up picking the same Pantone as the CCP, but for the most part, I think that they need to adapt. Like, look, example, me and Barry are going to be out there on Saturday. I don't know if you're doing anything. I know Bobby's trying to get you to come out, Patty, to the No Kings protest. I know that Rob's going to be out there on the street. And I think Kim is going to be hosting Saturday, along with, and Reno, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you're in the audience. Reno's going to be either at somewhere, or he's going to be in the studio switching feeds. We need to figure out, I think that we use StreamYard for that on the street reporting, because I think it works out better. They actually have a guest app. I wish EV.
Well, I'll be photographing everything in Boston for the No Kings thing, because that's what I do and that's what I do best. So I'll supply everybody with photographs, but yeah.
Okay. So
'cause people look at photographs in 2025. That's like having a chimney cleaning service.
You know what, man? Like,
listen,
I'm good at
fucking
what I
Mary
do.
Poppins. All right, I'm just fucking with you.
I'm good
Oh,
at
I
what
found
I
this
do.
out.
Fucking
It's funny that
silly.
you guys talk about chimney sweeps. I found this out. So I'm walking down all of the UK, and I noticed that there's fireplaces everywhere, and it was cold as fuck, right? And I find out, I look at them, and I'm like, why aren't any of these on, right? Why aren't any of these chimneys fired up? They have a restriction. They cannot fire up their chimneys. Every chimney in the UK is absolutely useless. Which is crazy to me, that like something so it has to be electric.
I'm
and I
gonna
believe
bet
that
right
there's
now.
restrictions on gas too. Go ahead.
I'm going to bet right now Patty's on his way to get some kind of chimney cleaning tool to show it off.
Yeah.
That's coming.
Us Floridians don't need none of that shit.
Yeah, you know what, the problem, the reason why they're at that that's place where they can't fire up their chimneys was the moment they fucking gave away their guns. And it was the downfall from there.
I mean, it is insane, because let me tell you something. When you leave London, everybody's conservative. Everybody's conservative.
Yeah.
There's not a single fucking person that I met outside of London that is liberal. I'm talking about, we were at the pub in Rugby, and I didn't want to, it's England, so I didn't want to talk about politics. Instantly they got into it. I'm like, holy fuck, these people are more right wing than me. I thought this wasn't a thing.
Wow. I mean, you see the same thing in California. Look at all the there's more Republicans there than anywhere else.
Yeah. No, and they're very, very right wingers in California are extremely hardcore fucking right wingers.
Oh yeah.
So given that's wild. I want to talk about just as a final topic. I want to talk about this peace deal that was put together by Donald Trump in Israel. The pretty much a permanent ceasefire deal with the stages, and I want Patty to chime in on this too, but.
Well, he did want to talk about as well the FBI agents undercover.
Okay, so let's touch on that first, and then we'll close with the peace deal. Patty, you were talking about in pre-studio, you were talking about something to do with the 274 or 75 FBI agents. So go ahead and lead with that.
Yeah. So Trump decided to. I guess you can't call it tweet, but whatever his Truth Central, whatever the fuck
it's
it
called it's called a retruth or a truth. Okay.
is.
Get your
Okay,
fucking
all right.
lingo right.
So Trump's
right.
truth.
Yeah, Trump's truth. He said, "quote The Biden FBI placed 274 agents into the crowd on January 6th." Well, obviously, there was no such thing as the Biden FBI on January 6th. That was the Trump FBI on January 6th. So this is ridiculous. The only way that you can believe this kind of bullshit is if you are in the cult of dear leader, and I understand most of you are. So whatever. But there is no such thing as the Biden FBI on January 6th. That's ridiculous.
Is
That's
there?
absurd. Fuck
Yeah.
off with that nonsense.
Can I launch a rebuttal here?
Yes,
Respectfully?
launch your butt, whatever.
Let's just say, okay, look, I mean, yes, it's obvious that we're going to disagree, and we joke around here on the War Boy Studios, but let's just look at this objectively. So you say this as, you know, the MAGA cult, okay. Well, this is, in my opinion, a sure sign of Trump derangement syndrome, and here's why.
Okay.
Because a logical person looks at facts regardless of how they feel about the person that the facts are for or against. And this is what we have here. The FBI admitted to 270 plus agents that they deployed to the Capitol that day in plain clothes. They admitted this after saying to the American public for many years that there was none. Then there was, okay, we don't know. Then there was 17. Then there was 26. Okay. Now it's 274 that they say that they deploy to do crowd control. Now, where the Trump derangement syndrome comes in is here. Now, a logical person would say, okay, the FBI, they're not there to do crowd control. They're not trained to do crowd control. They're not supposed to do crowd control. It's not part of their job. Okay. So there's that. Plus, okay, now if they were there, let's take them on that surface. You deployed 274 plainclothes officers to do crowd control in midst of a riot. How is anybody going to know that they were law enforcement to respect their authority to do crowd control? So that doesn't pass the smell test. So why were, admitted by the FBI, 274 plainclothes, most of them dressed up as Trump supporters? What were they doing there? Because it sure as shit wasn't to do crowd control. The FBI doesn't do crowd control. A logical person would ask these questions, but somebody that suffers from Trump derangement syndrome will not ask these questions simply because orange man bad. Everything I just said is fucking logical, and I'll digress. Okay. Oh, and yes, and one more thing. It was Biden's FBI because it was passed on to Ray from the mist of Comey, and we realize the convoluted tentacles that these people created within the FBI. This is the same exact FBI that weaponized itself against Donald J. Trump at the behest of Biden administration, that was already weaponized by Obama and was serving as under Trump. The same FBI that was spying on Donald Trump at the command of Obama. So that's where the Trump derangement syndrome is, because all these facts you don't factor into your analysis of what Trump put out on Truth Social.
Go ahead, Patty.
Donald Trump was in charge of the Federal Bureau of Investigation on January 6th.
They were a rogue element. They were a rogue element.
I will
he
push.
Continue. I know, what the fuck, man? Like, am I going to be able to finish the sentence?
Go ahead.
Donald Trump was in charge of the Federal Bureau of Investigation on January 6th and continued to be in charge of the Federal Bureau of Investigation until January 20th of 2021. Any actions they took was in charge that was part of Donald Trump's administration. So the idea that he said, and I quote, the Biden FBI placed 274. Fuck off.
Okay,
That
so let's say
is
he
the
misspoke.
No, I'm not.
That doesn't
done
negate
fucking
anything.
talking.
Well, wait.
Jesus,
I
man, I
don't-
let you talk for like fucking 2 minutes. You're gonna interrupt me every single time. I mean, fuck you, Barry. Like I'm just
It's called a
I'm-
straw man argument.
No. It's called interrupting me every time I say something. Look, the bottom line is the man is making a bullshit fucking case. And we all know it's a bullshit fucking case. Now, I obviously don't think that you guys should have been convicted of a bullshit charge that you should never have been charged with. But this is nonsense. This is straight up bullshit. I'm calling it out. You don't like it. And whatever. You can stick it up your fucking fat asses because I don't give a shit.
So
Fucking
let me
cocksucker.
chime in because there's a lot of so.
But I love you.
Let's start
still.
let's start in the beginning, right? The framers, the founders,
Oh boy.
made 3 branches of government, right? And the
Ask AOC
executive.
what those are.
The reason why it's called the executive.
No,
is-
it's Mikey, Stevie, and Jimmy, and those are the 3 fucking. Yeah, come on, man.
so
I know the branches.
the executive is called the executive because it's also meant to execute the laws passed down by Congress, right? So the chief,
I'm excited that it didn't execute you.
yeah, I'm excited too. So the chief law enforcement officer of the United States is the president of the United States,
Yes, it is.
right?
Yes. Correct.
But he needs to appoint. I mean, fast forwarding in time, what bureaus were created, and the bureau was created out of the DOJ. The FBI was created out of the DOJ by Hoover, which was a horrible pick to start such a powerful agency.
Exactly.
And there's been some poor choices in who is put in that position.
Sure.
I can concede the point that in Trump's first term, he did not pick the right people. And since we're focusing on the FBI, the adoption of Christopher Wray was a horrible decision on Trump's part. Christopher Wray was not was too political to put into that position. He
That's
was
Trump's fault, man.
he was a
That's
swamp.
it.
I gave you that. I gave you that. But as far as running the FBI, it wasn't Donald Trump's FBI. You could point to the leadership in the FBI, but we saw corruption that has been there for a long time, and as we're seeing with Kash Patel now, it's very difficult to undo some of the things that Hoover did. And that day,
How do you mean, like sucking dicks or like what?
well, that's probably what they did from the beginning because Hoover sucked dicks. I don't know if many people know that, but yeah, he was a dick sucker for.
That's actually where the vacuum cleaner company named their product after.
Oh, the Hoover. Yeah, gotcha.
Hoover.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Granted, you could blame Trump for picking the wrong person, but you could also say that the guy was hyper partisan, left wing, and had it out for right wingers. For
That
almost
doesn't make
the
any
entire
sense.
term.
Like, why
It
would he
does.
pick?
It
Why
does.
would he
Here
pick-
comes the Trump during.
Well, why would he pick? Look, I gave you that. I conceded that. I told you. Look, it was a bad pick, but it was
Yeah,
a
but
hyper-partisan
why would
pick.
it be like a hyper partisan pick on the other side? Like that doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean a hyper?
It's still the same FBI that attacked Catholics and pro-lifers and put them on a terrorist list, Patty.
Why-
It's the same
why
FBI
would-
that did that. It's the same one that fucking went after Donald Trump with these fake indictments
It's the same
and put him in
person.
front of judges that they knew were going to convict him on false premises. It's the same FBI that
Hold
did
on,
that.
Barry. Hold on, Barry. But it's the same person that you see it because you see the transition. You see the freedom given to him by the Biden administration to do what he wanted to do, and he did. He
Well,
went
why
after
wouldn't
1,600 people.
Trump, if Trump is what you think he is, if he's this,
I think he's human, and I think he's prone to mistakes.
okay. Well, why wouldn't he pick a far right wing, a guy like that
Kash
you
Patel?
would? Well, he picked Kash Patel, and Kash Patel isn't doing anything. Why wouldn't he pick the right guy if he's so certain?
Because my view of what the right guy is differs from his. I had this conversation actually with Kara Castronova yesterday, and in order to dismantle, to have a true FBI, you have to hire somebody, that you have to try to appoint somebody. And the reason why I say try is because a person that would fix the FBI would never get Senate confirmation, ever, right? Because the person that is best suited to lead the FBI is the person that would gut the FBI, and in no way, shape, or form would the Senate ever consent to that. You would have to get a fucking wrecking ball. Hire somebody like me that has no idea, right? I might be actually a good pick.
Tommy Robinson.
You bring me into the FBI and you get me Senate confirmed, and that thing that Kash Patel said, where he's going to turn it into a museum, would happen almost overnight. How I would do it, I would get the funds that are allocated to me by Congress, and I'd put it in the stupidest fucking programs, and I'd defund the rest of the apparatus. I'd start fucking auctioning off field offices, okay, for Spirit Halloweens, right? I'd practically give it to them for $5, and that is what true reform in the FBI. Like, you might be laughing, but truly,
No, I'm not.
You think
Seriously,
I think that I think that you agree.
I actually do agree. Like, because I think the FBI shouldn't exist.
It shouldn't exist. So
right.
and you can't just snap your finger out and make it disappear. So you have to defund it
But
completely.
Kash Patel's not coming anywhere near that.
He's not. He's not. And in order, that's why I'm saying
Bongino is not doing that either, and you know that.
And that's why I'm saying, like, the person best suited for that job would never be Senate appointed, because that is the true nature of what needs to be done in order to reform these agencies.
To your point, Enrique, a microcosm, we got to witness that play out with Matt Gaetz, because he was the guy for the AG that you're talking about. He was the wrecking ball that was going to come in there, kick shit the fuck over, not give a damn what anyone thought about him, and continue to do his job. And you see where that
every single 17-year-old in Florida,
18.
And,
Rachel Rivers would lied about her age and even testified to that on her oath. You know, Patty, true story. I was in federal prison with Joel Greenberg, the guy
you
that
should really probably not talk
him.
anymore.
That guy's kind of a scumbag.
Yeah.
I've met Joel Greenberg before, and as soon as I met him, I knew he was a fucking scumbag.
You know, what makes him less of one is he'll fully admit that. He's
Barry,
completely
don't let it go. Let's move the fuck on. What's the next topic?
Interview with Joel Greenberg?
No, I don't.
I mean, I love all those controversial, and then this moves me into the next segment, and our last segment, because I got to run, unless you guys want to keep going, but. Talking about weird people, I made this promise as soon as I got out of prison that I wasn't going to go after any J6er, and I wasn't going to badmouth any J6er, no matter how bad they do, unless they attack me. Let's talk about Jacob Chansley for a second.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, here we go.
Let's
do it.
So, you know, I've always kind of held my mouth when it came to Jacob Chansley, because honestly, he has no compass whatsoever, whether it's a moral compass, political compass, or just like a general knowledge compass.
Grasp of reality.
Yeah. So the other day he comes in hot on a fucking post, and he accuses me of the same thing, that I'm part of the NSA or the CIA or whatever the fuck he wants to say. And
Can you get him to fund the studio then? Because like,
I don't understand, how, and I should have seen it. You know what? And maybe Patty saw this coming. I should have seen that the guy that wore fucking furs, I don't even know if they're real furs, to an event in DC, how I should have
Merkin.
not taken him seriously. Because there is something wrong with them. When you go to one of these events, like it's cold, you wanna put a jacket on, put some thermals on. I had my thermals packed. I should have seen it coming just by noticing the pictures. This guy is completely fucking off the rails. I don't think a lot of people say that he's a plant. He's definitely not a plant. He's actually too retarded to be a plant. The thing that this guy believes in is fucking insane. He jumps all over. And if he
Doesn't
had
make
one,
sense.
if he had one belief system, then I'd be like, okay, that's his belief system. But he switches it around from one moment to the next, and he is.
It doesn't make sense, dude. It doesn't make sense, and I can honestly say, you and Barry and Kim and Joe and everybody on the network and people that that I disagree with. I can understand where you're coming from politically. You have an ideology, and that's all right, and I get that. I disagree with it, but I understand that. When it comes to guys like him, it just doesn't make any damn sense. It's not coherent. It's a bunch of bullshit. And I don't want to put that on. I can say that it's far right, but I don't want to put that in the category with you, Barry, or with you, Enrique, or with Joe, or with Kim.
I believe I
because
am far right.
because it's a bunch of you may be far right, but you at least have a fucking an ethos. This is all kinds of garbage. Like I don't know what the fuck this is. Like this kid doesn't make any sense, and I don't want any part of it. And I don't think anybody should want any part of it. Let this fucking guy go. Like
I think this is a missed opportunity, honestly. In the name of not letting the crisis go to waste. Can you imagine on the Word Boys Studio if we had a podcast hosted by Jacob Chansley and Pam Hemphill?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I don't know, man. That would just allow
I'd
live
rather-
commenting, and
I'd rather
I think
slam my
good
dick in a
behavior.
sliding glass door.
And that alone would cause people to tune in, I think.
Yeah, I'd rather do that than have Pam and that fucking idiot on here. Like, no, fuck those people, man. They're both bullshitters. Like
Barry,
I'm not.
Can you actually? You made me think of something, Barry. Can you reach out to Jacob Chansley and tell him to come on your podcast, and me and Patty will be there?
God, Jesus Christ.
I can try.
Yeah, just reach out, be like, hey, we want to talk, and you want to talk, but yeah, like this guy just came, and I'm not going to say out of nowhere because he's been around for a while, but and look, a lot of us are trying to get like some type of compensation for the lawfare, that was put on us. And like this guy comes out, and we're trying to be serious, and this guy comes out with a $40 trillion lawsuit, and in the same breath, he proclaims himself to be the true president of the United States. And he's not. And here's the thing: like, I do outrageous shit, but like I try not to do outrageous shit that'll cost people something. And like in all seriousness, him doing that is kind of fucked over. It's risking fucking over the rest of the people that truly did suffer through the Biden regime and the weaponization of government. So this guy is not just crazy; he's just not a good person. Period.
Yeah.
And you could say that there's crazy people that aren't bad people; they're just crazy. This guy truly is not good. He never makes it. I mean, Barry, we've been to a lot of J6 events together. This guy's not in any group chats. He's never made it to a single fucking thing. He isolated himself from the rest of the J6ers. He truly does not give a fuck about anybody except himself. And he's a drug-riddled fucking prostitute, political prostitute is what he is. And to me, he's at the same level as Pam Hemp Hill at this point.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, you guys got anything else to add?
I do.
Yeah, I would like to discuss like who is the sexiest liberal woman on television, and I think it's obviously Tarlov.
You better not say.
Oh
It's
God,
obviously
really?
Tarlov and
Cat
and
piss lady.
Oh no, stop, dude.
it's obviously Tarlov, and
She got kicked off the set of The Five the other day for smelling like cat urine.
I want everybody on this set right now, Barry and the other guy.
I can't.
I
think
want
of-
you to admit that
It's
you
not-
think
Oh, Tarlov.
Jessica Tarlov is sexy.
No.
Dude,
Just
she
admit it.
owns way too many
Just admit
cats
it.
to be
It's a
sexy,
head,
bro.
It's a head shape.
You can't have fucking
Just
six
just
cats
admit,
and be sexy. I don't
you-
care if
you
you
know-
fucking look like Pamela Anderson at 25 years old, bro. It's not happening. If you have six cats, you're
damn
ugly as
well
shit.
know. You damn well know that she's hot, and you
No.
will admit it right now.
No,
admit
she's not.
No,
I'm
she
looking
has
at
six
images.
cats.
That's bullshit.
She smells
That's
like
bullshit.
cat pee, Patty.
Nope.
All right, so but let's just go with if she didn't smell like cat piss, she'd still be fucking ugly.
She's not ugly. She's sexy.
She
as
cuts
fuck.
her own fucking hair.
You
That's
know that she's hot. You know she's hot.
She's
Like,
like that
I
half
don't even-
like
You're-
retarded girl in
let's
school
just
class
ad-
that everyone picks in because she stinks
Barry,
and she
can
cuts
you
her own
think-
hair.
Barry, can you think of one liberal on the left that you're like, all right, whatever? I have one. I do have one. But it's pretty obvious which one that is.
Well,
I
Caitlin
mean,
Collins.
No, hell no. She looks like a dude.
What?
Yeah, Caitlin Collins.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Caitlin Collins is not sexy to you. Like,
But
what
are
do
we
you-
going? Hold on. But are we
Obviously
just
go
going
like,
with media personalities?
If I
Yeah,
can make her
let's see
shut
the-
her. Okay. Because all right, never mind. I was gonna say as long as she keeps her mouth shut, AOC.
AOC was.
Oh
the
hell
minute she-
yeah! Obviously,
The minute she
AOC
opens
is-
her mouth, it's fucking over.
Yeah. So, but
Says
I
somebody
somebody
put-
one. in
Reno
media.
says Nancy Pelosi. Reno says Nancy Pelosi. Jesus.
And he's
Well,
not
yeah.
lying either. He means it.
I
Yeah,
bet,
like
I bet when you
what-
take that shirt off of Nancy Pelosi, the tits look young, and then the rest
oh
of her
yeah,
look old.
yeah. I'm saying 40 years ago, Nancy Pelosi definitely. But
Well, I mean, Reno and Nancy are about the same age, so he doesn't really look
that's
at that
fucked
like
up,
that.
man. Need
Liberal women
Jesus Christ.
in
Look.
media that are hot.
Hey, wait a minute. Caitlin Collins was a dude, right?
That's not true. Caitlin
Yes,
Collins
it is.
gorgeous.
That is true. You said the same thing about Brittany Griner, Patty. We've never came back to that. You were wrong. So there's that.
Fucking-
It's a
you think
dude.
Caitlin Collins is not sexy?
I think Caitlin Collins was a man before.
You're just a straight retard.
Well,
I-
you
I can't
can.
even
You
fucking
got
do
the
it.
straight part right. That's for sure.
I mean, look, you can't listen. You can't compare. Just take a look at the appointee lineup, right?
Tommy-
SC Cup.
You got Tulsi Gabbard.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Yeah,
smoke
Tulsi's
show.
beautiful.
Fuck, I just forgot her name. The press.
I've actually, Tulsi Gabbard gave me like a weird
What's the
hug.
press secretary's name?
Like she pressed her tits up against me one time.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot her name now. I'm thinking about her and I forgot her name. What's the press secretary's name?
Mm,
Who gives a shit? She's
Okay, well, she's a smoke show. Christy.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
can get it. Caroline Levitt.
Caroline.
Right?
Caroline Levitt or okay, so press secretaries Caroline Levitt or Dana Perino.
Just admit what really the issue in the
Dana
topic is
Perino.
here is that conservative women are
Dana Perino was
10
George
times
Bush's.
hotter than liberal women by far. They
Yeah,
blow them out of the water.
No, Dana Perino was George Bush's secretary. She's now a host on the Five. Like Dana Perino, she's way better looking than Caroline Perino. And
Which one's that one? Emily Campagno.
no, Dana Perino.
Emily Capano's smoking.
15 most influential women in media. It's by Maxim. Yeah, Emily Campagno is pretty hot.
Dana Perino is way better looking than fucking any of the
Even all 22 pounds of Cat Timp is smoking.
Cat Timp. You fucking kidding me with that? You just, I mean, God.
Yeah, I'm looking at this list and like I can't. I mean, look, if we're talking about media personalities, no matter what side, the hottest chicks are on Telemundo.
Jen Psaki, you don't like
Stop,
redheads?
Patty! I'm gonna kick you the fuck out of here, dude.
No, seriously,
Don't.
you don't like redheads with big
Jen
tits.
Psaki
No,
is a
listen, Jen
bologna
Psaki is-
sandwich that was left in a fucking car in a soccer mom's van all
Hey,
day.
but wait,
You
hey,
couldn't.
can
You
nobody
couldn't fuck
comment on
Jen
what I just
Psaki
said?
with a fucking if you had fucking 25.
That's
million
another
dollars
one.
in your
6
pocket,
cat smells like cat.
You wouldn't be
urine.
able to get near Jen Psaki, because
bro,
you're just a fuck. Seriously,
bro, she smells like cat urine. You could tell just by looking at her.
you're so
just
full
by
of
looking
shit,
at her.
it's not
6
even
cat.
funny.
That's a 6 catter right there. That's a
That's-
6 catter.
10
You're
hottest
so
women
full
in
of
the
shit.
news.
She
industry.
throws all her clean clothes in the fucking laundry basket, and the cats pee on it, and she just throws it on and goes out for the day.
That's yeah.
She doesn't even notice the cat smell urine because she's immune to
All
it.
right.
Barry, you
Listen,
you
look, hold up, guys. Hold on. You got Megyn Kelly, right?
yeah.
You guys would smash.
Of course.
You got what's her name now? Wait, hold on. Let me go back to what I just said, and I'm hoping you guys agree with me. No matter what side of the political aisle you're on, the hottest news, like the media, women in media, would have to come from. I don't even know none of their name, but like Telemundo and Univision definitely have the hottest fucking chicks.
Yeah, that's obvious.
It's easy to do when you
I don't know
when you
none of their
contract from the South
I don't know their
American
names, so,
sex
yeah.
trafficking
I don't
industry.
care.
I mean, they basically just go to fucking Colombian whorehouses and kidnap them and put them in
Okay.
journalism.
Well,
it's
let's just
it's
go
a
with
South
American.
thing.
Let's just go with American. There's a list
Oh
of
wow! Let's just go with American, huh? So
Yeah.
those women
Because
aren't
I don't know.
Americans.
No,
Yeah.
they're Telemundo
Oh.
traitors.
Oh,
because I'm a
wow.
racist.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
a
Wow.
Telemundo Univision traitors to this country.
Wow.
They're socialist mouth puppets.
You're
Freud.
a fucking mouth puppet, you
Freudian.
idiot.
Whatever. Patty loves Smurfs.
For the most part, I can't think of. Listen, Patty, I can't think of any hot liberal fucking newscasters. I just can't.
Okay, well,
Because
go
they're
ahead.
fucking gross. They all have 6 cats and look like bologna sandwiches.
Look, maybe look. The one that I would think about is maybe Abby Phillips from CNN.
Yeah, definitely.
She could probably get it.
Yeah.
You know, Patty thinks Anderson Cooper's cute.
Yeah. So Abby Phillips is probably like the only one.
Casey Hunt.
I don't like Casey Hunt. I think she's
I like-
Caitlin Collins is a dude.
Caitlin Collins,
Casey-
is a dude. Yeah.
Caitlin Collins is fucking gorgeous. Are you
She's a
kidding me?
fucking
No.
dude. But
Get
see,
out
that's
of
the
here.
thing is you Democrats don't fucking decipher between hot men dressed as women and regular women. To you guys, it's all the same.
All right, look, how about in alternative media? You know, you got Natalie Winters, which is a smoke show. Okay.
Yeah, she is.
Natalie Winters is a smoke show.
Conservative.
You got pretty women like Cara Castronova,
Conservative.
conservative. You know, if Biggs were here, he'd talk about what's her name, Anna, the one from the Young Kasparian, from the Young Turk.
Oh yeah.
I don't see it.
Are you kidding me?
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
I don't see it.
What are you talking about?
I just
what
I don't-
about her don't you like?
I don't know. It's not a me thing.
Okay. Well, whatever.
yeah,
I'll
Jose-
give you a conservative. I'll give you one.
Yeah, no, you could give me a whole bunch, but yeah, go ahead and name the one that you're thinking about.
Savannah Hernandez.
There you go. Perfect. Yes. Perfect example.
With a
Savannah.
name like that, is she legal? I'll call ICE.
Yeah.
She's tricky because she looks like she's Asian.
Yeah. Look, here's the thing. I've actually met Savannah in person, and like she was a producer for InfoWars when I was on InfoWars, and she is drop dead, holy shit, stupid gorgeous. like she's beautiful. So yeah, I can tell you, as somebody who's seen her in person, she's about as pretty gets.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is the one that claimed that Tommy Robinson and Andrew Tate fucking Lauren Southern.
Lauren Southern, yeah, she's pretty gorgeous too.
Yeah.
An
I mean,
asshole, but like,
yeah.
yeah.
So her asshole's cute. Is that what you just said?
No, I've never met Lauren Southern, but I think she's an asshole. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you meant her asshole.
No, I've never seen.
That'd
Lauren
be a
Southern.
strange way to meet somebody who was just like asshole first and asshole only.
No, but if
That's
I
what
had met her asshole,
Never
I
saw her
would know.
face, but she talked through her asshole. Not impressed.
All right, I'm out of here, guys.
I-
All right, so that concludes today's show. Hopefully, we could have another show on Friday. I know that we've been inconsistent when it comes to the news brief. We'll try to be a little bit more consistent with it. Thank you guys for tuning in. And that closes our show right.
Make sure to go to 1776.shop and support us. Where that's how you support our stream and our show and our X page at 1776.shop. You can share out our posts and yeah, help us out that way. Go to 1776.shop.
You can get a whole bunch of
Shut
stuff
up,
there,
Patrick.
except my stuff, which Enrique is apparently never going to put up. So,
All right, fuck off. I got to go. What's that? Oh, wait, hold on. He has one. But that's Fox Sports.
No, the ACN.
ACN. There you go.
The ACN. The new.
ACN. There you go. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to shut up. I'm gone. I'm out. I can't do it anymore. I can't.
Where's my shit?
Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Peter said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
An FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now.